The 4-2-2 is the safest formation in FC24. The formation that I'm about to discuss today is the evergreen 4-2-2 formation. This formation has been meta from the very start of FC24, as well as previous FIFA games as well. But what makes the 4-2-2 so unique? Well, like I mentioned, it is a very balanced formation, with 4 players up front with 2 strikers and 2 cams, and 6 defensive players with 2 CDMs and 4 defenders. This formation is great both in the attack and the defense as well. Now some might say this is a more defensive formation as compared to something like the 4-4-2 formation. But the tactics and instructions that I'm about to teach you guys today will make it attack like a 4-4-2 formation. Other than that, this formation is also great for passing. You can make those quick tiki-taka passes. As you can see, there are several triangles in the formation, which, like I've discussed several times, is very vital for playmaking. And of course, the 4-2-2 is very defensively sound. The 2 CDMs with the right instructions make it hell for the opponent to make a successful attack from the middle. Honestly, along with the 4-4-2, the 4-2-2 is one of the safest formations that I could recommend almost any player at any stage of the game. And also keep in mind, these are safe formations. These will help you transition more easily into FC25. Because like we know, the 4-3-2-1 formation, for example, will be removed from FC25. So rather than abusing the meta, I recommend you guys play these safe formations. They will definitely prepare you better for FC25. With that being said, let's move on to the tactics. Now there are several variations in the tactics that we can play. I will be explaining you one by one. Firstly, defensive style will be balanced. Like I've mentioned several times, all other defensive styles come with their pros and cons. Some are too aggressive, some are too passive. Which is why I always suggest you guys to stay balanced, stay in the middle. Because defensively speaking, you need control over your players. Because for example, if you fail to win the ball back using pressure on heavy touch, that will leave a gap in your defense. Let's say one of your fullbacks is not in their position. Any decent player with common sense will make use of it and exploit that gap and score an easy goal. So it's better to keep things in your own hand and keep it at balanced. Defensive widths, we are going to keep it at 38. Well, 38 because even though the 4-2-2 is a fairly narrow formation, we still want it compact from the middle. Because the attacks are the most dangerous when they are from the middle. I've discussed this several times. Because imagine if you take a shot from the wing, it is not as effective. But even a power shot from outside the box, if taken from the middle, is very effective. It might just go in. So the center needs to be compact. Now the defensive depth. Well, we have 3 options. First one is the 65 depth. Well, in my opinion, 65 depth is the minimum that you should play. This will still give you the AI pressure, but it won't be as crazy as the 71 or 100 depth. The only difference between 65 and 71 depth is that 65 depth won't perform those auto offside traps. So if you want the auto offside traps, I suggest you move it to 71. And 71 depth is still not that crazy, but like I said, it will perform those auto offside traps, which are, to be fair, meta in this game. But if you want to take things to the next level, you can play 100 depth. This will provide the maximum pressure. Your players will always be in the face of your opponent. There will be constant AI pressure trying to win the ball back from your opponent. If he wins the ball back from you, your players will be so aggressive that it will be extremely hard for them to keep the ball. So 100 depth is highly aggressive, but do remember that it is slightly risky. If you're not able to win the ball back, the opponent will take advantage of it and exploit the gaps that are created in your formation. But if you're not familiar with playing these higher depths, I suggest you play either 71 depth, or if you want to keep things in your own hand, play it at 65. Build up play will be balanced, nothing crazy. Chance creation will be, as always, direct passing. Our offensive width, I want you guys to keep it at 50. Because like I said, we want to attack in a 4-4-2. We want the left and right cam to act as those left midfielder and right midfielder and provide us width in our attack. So 50 is just perfect for that. Players in the box will be 6. Corners, keep it at 2. Free kicks, 2 as well. Now moving on to the most important part, which is the instructions. Now one of our fullbacks, we want him at stay back while attacking, and everything else will be at default. But our other fullback, which in this case is our left back, which will be everything default, but his run type will be overlap. This is because we want him to make those overlapping runs on the outside and act as another passing option. Now, one of our CDMs, we want someone who is tall, who is strong, and is great defensively. Someone who is more like a center back, a brick wall to help you defend against your opponent's attacks. And that CDM will be stay back while attacking, as well as cover center. Now, our other CDM, we want him to be a box-to-box player. For example, a Modric or a Ruud Gullit, for example. A box-to-box player means someone who will play in your box as well as your opponent's box as well, help you both in the defense as well as the attack as well. So someone who has great pace, who can quickly switch from attack to defense, come back on defense, and quickly make the run towards your opponent's half to act as a passing option as well. Someone who is great both defensively and attackingly. This CDM will be everything default and covers center. Now the instructions for our cams will be same. It will be firstly get into the box for crossing. Like I've discussed, crossing to your wingers is very effective in this game. We need preferably someone who is tall. So when we cross into them, they can touch the ball down for our strikers to score a goal or score a direct header into the goal. So get into the box and defensive support will be come back on defense. So our cam will come back and assist us with the defense as well, making it very hard for your opponent to make those passes. And like I discussed, same instructions for our other cam as well. Now, our strikers, we want a playmaker and a poacher. Playmaker who is good in dribbling, is fast and has great passing. That striker will be everything default, but his defensive support will be come back on defense. On this striker, it is good to have a finish shot or a Trivela trait. Now our other striker, we want someone who when he shoots, it is almost always a goal. Someone who is very good at finishing and is physically strong. This striker will be everything at default, while his support runs will be stay central. Now remember guys, the instructions with this formation are very important, so make sure you get those right. And do pay attention to the depth options that I provided you guys, because the depth in this game has a very high impact on how you defend. Now like I said, the 4-3-2-1 formation is being banned in FC25. So if you want a similar formation, I suggest you guys watch this video about the 4-3-1-2 formation, which is just as good.